So we're in the same project here. We're just looking at the front wall. There's some very large windows here, going to offer a lot of natural light into the space. And as a result, again, they're going to have to put a significant laminated veneer lumber or timber strand beam, depending on which manufacturer you're talking about here, to cover or to span that opening. You can see in this instance there's even a very significant beam landing right on top of this particular assembly. So that now has to carry that mass from here where it's striking across and then drop it down. You can see here we're dealing with pretty much a solid assembly of lumber in that corner. There's going to be no insulation to the side of this window. There's a insulation cavity here, and they've added that extra stud in there to give backing for the drywall here, drywall there. But then immediately into a door, so solid lumber here, and then up and over, and then just a dimensional lumber lintel or header up there because it doesn't carry all the mass. And then down into this again, and now this is solid lumber. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of solid 2x6 up and into again a laminated veneer carrying that header, 5 more studs carrying the mass of that, and then the window. So there's essentially almost no insulation throughout that space. That's an interesting choice for sure. We don't know what they're going to do on the outside. Sorry, hand was getting a little cold there. Yeah, that's a choice. And then once again up here, the design is to see this 4-ply laminated veneer lumber up here, this huge beam, and then coming over and landing on another beam that's then that micro lam LVL that then spreads it across. You got your 2 bearing studs here, then an additional 5 there, and then 2 more over here. So there's some significant engineering going on here. Personally, I don't love it. I'd like to see that beam land directly on a column, but it seems to be fairly common now that this happens. But there we see the beam heading off across the rest of the home with all the various joists coming into it. And it's relatively short joist spans and quite a shallow depth of joist, only about 1 foot deep. And so you would wonder if they'd gone with maybe a bit deeper of a joist, could they have spanned further and maybe just done a beam down the center of the home instead of these 2 massive beams that do exist? But then that would interfere with getting the stairwells through, where the stairwells are right there in the middle. So it's always choices and trade-offs for sure when it comes to framing, and we just have to trust that the floor designers know what they're on about and are recommending the best, safest way to go about doing it, and also the most economical.